It's a mystery that has perplexed the state of New Mexico and the nation for more than 3 decades. Melinda Escobel is one of Tara's high school friends who spent years investigating the case on her own time.
Tessa, for the first time ever, the Valencia County Sheriff's Office says the investigation is ready to go to the District Attorney's Office. That means they're inching closer to justice for Tara Calico.
On September 13, 2003, in Cleveland, Ohio, Shakira Johnson, an 11-year-old with a contagious laugh and dreams of becoming a dancer, stepped out of her home on East 106th Street. Known for her bright smile and love of music, Shakira was a 6th grader who lit up her tight-knit neighborhood. She often twirled through the local park, teaching younger kids dance moves, her braided hair bouncing with each step. Her mother, Elisa Johnson Williams, described her as a spark always bringing people together. That Saturday, Shakira headed to a neighborhood block party, a lively event with music and food promising to return by dusk. When she didn't, Elisa's heart sank and a chilling fear gripped the family. The Mount Pleasant neighborhood, a mix of modest homes and corner stores, buzzed with summer's end. The block party held near East 71st Street was a community staple with kids playing and adults chatting under string lights. Shakira, wearing her favorite purple jacket, was last seen near a food stand, laughing with friends. By 7 p.m., Elisa called her daughter's phone, but it went to voicemail. She contacted Shakira's friends who hadn't seen her leave. Panic set in as Elisa rushed to the party, now winding down, and found no trace of her daughter. The community, sensing the urgency, began calling out Shakira's name into the night. Elisa alerted the Cleveland police, who arrived within hours. The initial report noted Shakira's disappearance at approximately 6:30 p.m., with no witnesses to her departure. The police canvassed the area, questioning partygoers, but the fading light and lack of surveillance cameras hindered efforts. Elisa, trembling, told officers, "She wouldn't just leave without telling me. Something's wrong." Neighbors, many who watched Shakira grow up, joined the search, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. The community's unity was palpable, but so was their fear. Cleveland's history of unsolved crimes loomed large. By morning, the search intensified. Volunteers organized by Elisa and her son Laquan scoured parks, alleys, and abandoned lots. Flyers with Shakira's smiling face captioned, "Missing Shakira Johnson." Age 11 appeared on every lamppost. Local news stations broadcast her story, amplifying the urgency. Police set up a command post at the community center where officers reviewed grainy CCTV from a nearby store showing Shakira at the party, but nothing after. A witness, a teenager, recalled seeing her near a van, but the details were vague. Rain began to fall, muddying fields and dampening hope. The community's response was both heartfelt and chaotic. Churches held prayer vigils, and neighbors like Ms. Carter, a retired teacher, organized meal trains for the family. Shakira was everyone's daughter. Ms. Carter said, her voice breaking. Yet, systemic issues surfaced. Mount Pleasant lacked adequate street lighting, and budget cuts had reduced police patrols. These gaps frustrated searchers who felt the city's neglect left vulnerable kids like Shakira at risk. Laquan, only 13, clung to his mother, whispering, "We'll find her right." Elisa nodded, but her eyes betrayed doubt. Days turned into weeks, with no solid leads. Police interviewed dozens, including party attendees and local residents, but conflicting accounts muddled the timeline. A tip line received hundreds of calls, most unhelpful. Volunteers searched a nearby warehouse district where abandoned buildings stood like silent witnesses. The emotional toll was heavy. Elisa barely slept, haunted by visions of her daughter. Community rallies kept Shakira's name alive with signs reading, "Bring Shakira home." Yet as September faded, hope waned and the city braced for a grim discovery. On October 13, 2003, a jogger found a body in a field near East 71st Street, hidden among tall weeds. Police confirmed it was Shakira, her purple jacket torn. The news shattered Elisa, who collapsed sobbing, "My baby, my baby." The community mourned their grief mixed with anger at the lack of answers. The field near an abandoned warehouse became a focal point, cordoned off as police searched for clues. Shakira's death, ruled a homicide, sent shockwaves through Cleveland, reigniting demands for justice and safer streets. The search efforts, though valiant, exposed cracks in the system. Limited resources meant police relied heavily on volunteers, and the absence of advanced forensics delayed progress. Elisa's faith sustained her as she prayed at Mount Zion Baptist Church, where Shakira once sang in the choir. The community vowed to keep searching for answers, their resolve fueled by love for a girl who danced her way into their hearts. As police shifted to investigation, the question lingered: who could have taken Shakira and why? The investigation into Shakira Johnson's murder began with urgency but faced immediate hurdles. Cleveland police, led by Detective Maria Torres, established a task force with FBI support given the case's high profile. The crime scene, a desolate field off East 71st Street, offered little initially. Forensic teams collected 3 black garbage bags near the body, suspected to have held Shakira's remains. A pair of work gloves found in a nearby basement bore 2 drops of blood. DNA tests confirmed it was Shakira's. This discovery pointed to a local resident, but the evidence was thin. Torres and her team canvassed the neighborhood, knocking on doors and revisiting the block party site. A witness, a vendor, recalled seeing a white van parked oddly near the party, but no license plate was noted. Police reviewed hours of CCTV from surrounding businesses, but the footage was grainy, capturing only shadows. A fiber on the garbage bags matched carpeting from a van owned by a local handyman, Daniel Hines, who lived near the party. This connection made him a person of interest, though he denied involvement. The investigation dug into Hines's background. A 26-year-old with a learning disability, Hines was known for odd jobs in Mount Pleasant. Police learned he was at the block party, leaving around 5 p.m. and returning later. His van, parked near his East 106th Street home, became a focal point. Forensic technician Michelle Yezo testified that the fiber's shape and color matched Hines's van carpeting perfectly. Additionally, garbage bags in his basement matched those at the scene, their perforations aligning exactly. These findings tightened the focus on Hines. Interviews with neighbors painted a mixed picture. Some described Hines as quiet but friendly. Others noted his interest in young girls, citing a prior sexual assault case involving a 13-year-old cousin. Though this case wasn't admissible in court, it shaped investigators' theories. Assistant prosecutor Richard Bombick hypothesized Hines lured Shakira to his basement, killed her after she resisted, and disposed of her body later that night. However, Hines's alibi that he never left home after 5 p.m. created doubt, as no witness saw him with Shakira. The emotional toll on investigators was significant. Torres, a mother herself, struggled with the case's brutality. Every clue felt like a step toward Shakira, but also a reminder of what she endured, she later said. The family's grief compounded the pressure. Elisa attended briefings, her eyes pleading for answers. Community members, frustrated by slow progress, held rallies chanting, "Justice for Shakira." Media scrutiny intensified, with outlets questioning why no arrest had been made despite the evidence. Challenges mounted as the investigation progressed. The body's decomposition, due to a month in the elements, limited forensic insights. Entomological evidence suggested Shakira died weeks before her body was found, complicating the timeline. Hines was in custody for an unrelated charge during part of this period, raising questions about his involvement. Defense attorneys later argued the DNA on the gloves could have transferred innocently, perhaps, from Shakira's presence near Hines's home. These uncertainties frustrated prosecutors. Police explored other leads, including a tip about a second suspect, Christopher Whitaker, a local with a history of violence against young girls. His proximity to the crime scene and similar modus operandi raised suspicions, but police focused on Hines, citing the physical evidence. All roads led to Daniel Hines Bombick insisted. Yet the lack of a clear motive Hines had no known connection to Shakira weakened the case. Torres pushed for more interviews, hoping to uncover a witness who saw Hines with the girl. By late 2003, the investigation reached a turning point. A neighbor reported seeing Hines's van near the field the night of September 13th, contradicting his alibi. This, combined with the forensic evidence, prompted police to prepare charges. The community, weary from months of fear, demanded action. Elisa, speaking at a vigil, said, "I need to know why my daughter was taken." The investigation, though methodical, left lingering doubts. Could the evidence withstand scrutiny, or was the real killer still out there? On December 5, 2003, Daniel Hines, a 26-year-old handyman, was arrested at his East 106th Street home. Police, acting on the forensic evidence, charged him with kidnapping and aggravated murder. The arrest followed months of investigation, with the gloves, garbage bags, and van fiber forming the case's backbone. Hines, handcuffed as neighbors watched, maintained his innocence, telling officers, "I didn't touch that girl." The community, desperate for closure, felt a mix of relief and unease. Hines was a familiar face, not a monster. Hines's background revealed a troubled life. A special education student with a low IQ, he struggled socially but was known for small repair jobs. His prior arrest for attempting to assault a 13-year-old cousin raised red flags, though Judge Thomas Pokorny ruled this inadmissible to avoid prejudicing the jury. Prosecutors argued Hines lured Shakira from the block party, possibly exploiting her trust. The blood on his gloves and matching garbage bags were damning, but Hines claimed the gloves were stolen and the bags common in the neighborhood. During interrogation, Hines's story wavered. He admitted being at the party, but insisted he returned home by 5 p.m. and stayed there. A neighbor's sighting of his van near the field contradicted this, and phone records showed no activity after 6 p.m., suggesting he avoided calls. When confronted with the DNA evidence, Hines grew silent, then said, "Someone's setting me up." His defense team, led by Paul Mancino, argued the evidence was circumstantial, possibly planted by overzealous police under pressure to solve the case. The arrest sparked mixed reactions. Elisa, informed by Detective Torres, felt a flicker of hope but remained guarded. "If he did this, I want justice," she said. Neighbors were divided. Some believed Hines capable, citing his odd behavior. Others saw him as an easy scapegoat due to his disability. Protests outside the precinct demanded transparency, with signs reading, "No more mistakes." Cleveland's history of wrongful convictions fueled skepticism about the case's strength. Police continued building their case post-arrest. They re-examined Hines' van, finding trace evidence of soil matching the field. A witness, a delivery driver, placed Hines near East 71st Street around 11 p.m. on September 13th. Bombick argued this timeline fit the disposal of Shakira's body. However, Mancino challenged the evidence's integrity, noting the gloves were found weeks after the crime, potentially contaminated. The lack of a confession or direct witness kept the case vulnerable. The community's response evolved as details emerged. Vigils for Shakira grew, with candles lining East 71st Street. Laquan, now 14, spoke at one, saying, "She deserves the truth." Media coverage intensified, with headlines like "Handyman Charged in Girl's Murder." Yet doubts persisted. Some residents pointed to Whitaker, whose violent history mirrored the crime. Police focused on Hines dismissed this, frustrating advocates like Mancino, who later said they wanted a quick win, not the truth. Hines' arrest didn't end the investigation. Torres pursued loose ends, interviewing party attendees again. A child recalled seeing Shakira near a van, but couldn't identify the driver. The emotional weight of the case pressed on investigators, with Torres confiding, "I see Shakira in my dreams asking for justice. The community, too, grappled with grief and suspicion, wondering if Hines was the monster or a man wrongly accused. As the trial loomed, Cleveland held its breath. The trial of Daniel Hines began on November 15, 2004, in Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court. Charged with kidnapping and aggravated murder, Hines faced the death penalty. The courtroom, packed with reporters and mourners, buzzed with tension. Prosecutors, led by Richard Bombick, presented the forensic evidence: Shakira's blood on Hines's gloves, the matching garbage bags, and the van fiber. Bombick argued, "This man preyed on a child, and the evidence proves it." The prosecution painted Hines as a predator who exploited Shakira's trust. The defense, led by Paul Mancino, attacked the evidence's reliability. They argued the DNA could have transferred innocently, as Shakira often played near Hines's home. The garbage bags, Mancino noted, were a common brand, and the van fiber's match wasn't unique. Daniel isn't Houdini, Mancino told the jury. How could a man with his limitations commit such a crime undetected? They called a forensic expert, who questioned the evidence's handling, suggesting contamination. Hines, testifying, tearfully denied involvement, saying, "I'd never hurt a kid." Testimonies gripped the courtroom. Elisa, her voice trembling, described Shakira's dreams and the pain of her loss. "She was my light," she said, tears falling. A forensic technician, Curtis Jones, detailed the garbage bag's perforations, linking them to Hines's basement. A neighbor testified to seeing Hines' van near the field, but under cross-examination admitted the lighting was poor. The prosecution's case hinged on circumstantial evidence, as no eyewitness placed Hines with Shakira, and the entomological timeline raised doubts. On December 19, 2004, the jury acquitted Hines after 5 weeks of testimony. The verdict stunned the courtroom. Elisa and Laquan sobbed, escorted out by deputies. Hines wept with relief, hugging his mother. Bombick, frustrated, said, "The evidence was clear, but doubt prevailed." The defense's strategy of questioning every piece of evidence resonated with jurors, later citing the lack of a motive or direct witness. Cleveland reeled as Shakira's case returned to the unsolved list. Post-trial, Hines remained in jail on unrelated charges, later convicted of raping a 14-year-old in 2007. This fueled public outrage, with many believing he escaped justice for Shakira's murder. Elisa, devastated, turned to faith, marrying in 2005 and starting a book about her grief. She died in 2016 at 43, never seeing justice. Laquan said she carried that pain every day. The community held vigils at Mount Zion Baptist Church, where Shakira's funeral had been honoring her memory. The case's aftermath exposed systemic flaws. The lack of surveillance and forensic resources hindered the investigation, and police's focus on Hines ignored other suspects like Whitaker, who later killed Aliana DeFries. In 2018, Mancino urged police to investigate Whitaker, citing similarities, but authorities declined, stating Hines was our guy. Community advocates pushed for better lighting and patrols in Mount Pleasant, with some reforms implemented by 2005. Shakira's legacy endures through small acts. A dance scholarship in her name was established at the community center, encouraging young girls to pursue her passion. Elisa's unfinished book, shared by Laquan, inspired local writers to advocate for unsolved cases. The field on East 71st Street, once a place of tragedy, became a memorial garden with a plaque reading, "For Shakira, Forever Dancing." Her story, though unresolved, reminds Cleveland of the need for justice and vigilance, ensuring no child is forgotten. If stories like these move, you don't forget to subscribe to Crimes That Linger, where we explore the cases that still haunt the world. From grisly disappearances to long-awaited justice, we bring you true crimes that leave a lasting mark. Hit the bell so you never miss a story.